Hello everyone and welcome back, it's Zakiziel here, and today I'll be reacting to Gendor Skraivok, I hope I pronounced that properly, 5-ish minute lore episode 33 by Old Man Lore Stories in Theory. Hey, if any of you guys watching this haven't already heard about Old Man, and you should definitely check out his channel. There'll be a link actually to both of his channels in the description box below. He makes great stuff. Of his reactions are fun to watch, and his lore videos, as well as his stories with the Commissar, are a treat to listen to. And without further ado, let us get into the video and see what he has to say about this guy.
General Medicaid warning. The views expressed in 5-ish minute lore, the lore delivered in rants, are sanctioned by their scholar Progenium as excess rageous. Prolonged exposure can result in loss of IQ, high blood pressure, random outbursts, and blunt force trauma to the skull, resulting in unconsciousness. Please consult your local physician for more information.
I made you strong, Skraivok, and you assumed that strength was your own. You were a traitor and a murderer. Ruthlessness and a little cunning are your only gifts, but you mistook my talents for yours. Can you imagine? The painted count thought himself the equal of the first captain of the Blood Angels.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
We talked a lot about...
Oh boy, I have a feeling there's gonna be some funny stuff involved.
infuriating people on this Foxcast. From the emotionally understandable, to the partially understandable, to the what in the world is wrong with you? From the hilariously incompetent, to the annoyingly incompetent, to the frustratingly incompetent, to Herman von Straub. Hell, in our...
How fitting that the Overlord of Armageddon himself gets his own classification due to how just ridiculously incompetent he is. Or rather, was, since he's past tense.
First episode we talked about the biggest e-girl in 40k history, but today we're talking...
Oh yeah, Lilith Hesperax, which, funnily enough, was the first of his 5-ish minute lore videos that I reacted to.
Talking about her polar opposite. Today we're talking about the biggest simp in 40k. We are talking about... Just 1 second, I need to get a pronunciation check. How do you say this idiot's name again?
Gendor Skraivok. I repeat, it is pronounced Gendor Skraivok.
Gendor
Skraivok, okay.
Skraivok is a Night Lord, and like most Night Lords, he was born on Nostromo. Unlike most Night Lords, however, he was actually the son of one of the noble families that Conrad stared at until they decided to stop being dickheads to the rest of the planet. Now, Conrad gets a bad rep for not knowing when to show mercy, but to his credit, the one time he did show mercy, it went horribly for literally everyone. You see, the nobles hated Conrad, and they hated having to act the way that nobles on paper were supposed to act, and how Sheetrock passed this hatred on to their son. Note this fact, every simp and e-girl in the galaxy can trace their path of self-destruction all the way back to daddy issues. Shreveport Skipbop became a Night Lord. He was one of the few hundred Astartes to...
So he's gonna be like the bass drop Curdle Snoot of 40k then.
retain their memories of who they were when they were human, and proceeded to make his papa proud. Not cursed, by the way, his biological papa. Now, Conrad Curse spent most of the heresy convincing himself that the fall of his legion had been inevitable. Well, I guess Drop Top collected all the Infinity Stones because he was inevitable. Gondor Skibbity Bebop positioned himself to be in charge of recruitment on Nostromo and was directly responsible for switching recruitment to...
These names. It just says...
the absolute...
just as entertaining as Bandersnatch Cabbage Patch and his many names.
Worst of Nostromo's youth. This is why the Legion went from misunderstood anti-heroes to the Batman who laughs on steroids. Gendor also allowed dear old dad and the rest of the Nostromo noble houses to stage a coup against Curse's overseers and retake their planet.
Oh no.
Undoing everything Curse had done since landing there.
Oh boy.
No. Wait.
They know who's coming.
Wait. Now, going from zero to genocide is a phrase I use a lot on this Foxcast, but for Kurz it was literal. What happened next wasn't a one-sided massacre, but a planet-wide execution of the entire Nostroman population.
Oh yeah, the exterminatus of Nostromo, right?
Skraivok was apparently upset, not because his parents were murdered, but because they had died before they had a chance to say, "Atta boy, son." Skraivok promptly jumped on OnlyFans to find someone who could make him feel appreciated like his dad did. The Night Haunter seemed an obvious choice, but his fractured mind made it really hard for him to see who was giving him donations. Horus was another good option, but he had gotten so fed up with receiving the same audio donations that he had increased his prices far beyond Simplot's dead dad's credit card. Drop Top was about to settle on Erebus, but then Erebus
Eresus.
introduced a whole plethora of e-girls looking for top subs. Demons. One such demon who never had a written name, so I will just refer to it as Tiffany, started spamming Barndoor's feed with messages about his OnlyFans and all the benefits a top sub could enjoy. Jim Short's Scrymark, however, was a little uncertain about the price range and put it off. After the Lion treated Kurz the way that Lehman treated Magnus,
So he was tempted by a demonette and decided to hold off on the swearing allegiance to chaos thing.
Kidsbot found himself simping for a Night Lord named Krukesh and was promoted to Krukesh's second-in-command just in time to be put in charge of besieging Sotha. Sotha, as I'm sure you're all aware, was the fortress commanded by Barbarous Dantiok and his best bro, Alexis Pollux, who proceeded to teach Skidmark the magic of friendship in Morse code with bolter fire. After multiple beatdowns of hilarious proportions, Skidbrock convinced his underling Kellenkir to spot him a couple of bucks so he could subscribe to Tiffany's OnlyFans at Tier 1. This allowed him to teleport his Terminator Claw directly into the fortress while he continued his assault on the outside. After capturing Pollux and Dantiok, Screendor oversaw the Warsmith's torment personally, selling his favorite show by introducing him to Rule 34.
Oh no.
Only one dollar per month with access to a boatload of undivided hentai.
So the horrors of what people give Major Kill money to see.
Dantiok refused to break. He would never allow a horrible fandom to turn him off for his favorite show. So Dorjan went over to Pollux and started reading him his favorite fan fiction, The Fall of Equestria.
Oh no.
Do not ask or Google.
You know, I don't know how I should feel about the fact that I already knew what that was. Thank the changer I've never actually read, but I know about it.
Dantiok went from zero to homicide instantaneously and used the Pharaohs to send Skraivok and his goons to their flagship in pieces. Unfortunately for literally everyone, Sheerborn survived. Sure, he was taken prisoner by a Night Lord possessed by Tiffany for not renewing his subscription, but he took care of that with his dead captain's credit card. Now, let's take a second and let's talk about the title that this idiot gave himself. This colossal waste of space called himself the Painted Count. He called himself this because the games of Nostromo wore war paint, and he was a noble. God, what a pretentious turd!
So basically, he was the equivalent of one of those rich kids who for some reason goes out and pretends to be lower class because he thinks it's cool.
One of the best parts of the audiobooks for the Horus Heresy for me is the reader tries to make him sound like Dracula, which only makes what Gendor Skraivok says 1,000 times more stupid than it would otherwise sound.
I am Gendor Skraivok, the Painted Count.
Back to the life and times of
that Dracula voice with the blah 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 and all that. It makes this guy even worse. I cannot take him seriously with a voice like that. Well, I couldn't really take him particularly seriously before, given his track record, but you know.
this simp. Gosh, Shrike had a choice. He could help Conrad Kurz escape McCrack, or he could help Horus kill the Emperor. He might have stayed to help Kurz, but Horus was lacking in stealth fighters after losing Alfaria, so he was running a discount for Night Lord subscribers. Skraivok just needed to find another credit card to book his flight to Terra and settle on Shang's. Shang is Conrad Kurz's equerry, and no.
Let's see. The softest Night Lord didn't want to destroy Nostromo. Vulcan would have hugged him. Kurz's assistant, the first Night Lord to publicly say Kurz was losing it. Wait, was Shang the one then? And that I heard there's one particular Night Lord who wasn't all that bad a person, and that, well, I know Kurz hated pretty much his entire legion, but I thought if I remember correctly, was he the one that was said that Kurz also had a particular dislike for some reason?
Number 1 on the list of Space Marines who belong in different legions or chapters. In this instance, the Lamenters, because Shang is the only creature who takes time out of his day to give Conrad Kurz a hug. He is also the weakest.
Oh, one of the few that he didn't hate. Nice.
Night Lord in the Legion's history, with his entire career being summed up as Shang tried his best. When Skraivok declared he was leaving Conrad Kurz to die, Shang tried his best to stop him, and actually succeeded in trapping him in the same labyrinth Conrad used to trap Vulcan. The only reason Skraivok didn't lose to the weakest and kindest Night Lord in existence is because he finally used his own damn credit card to upgrade his subscription on Tiffany's.
It almost lost the power struggle against the most kind-hearted Night Lord ever. Only won because of Demon Sword, go figure. So discount Layer Blade.
Only fiends to Tier 2. Teleporting out of the labyrinth with a sword possessed by Tiffany, he used it to behead Shang in the most one-sided duel ever. Hooked on Thawnox made his way to Terra and donated thousands of Night Lords to the War Master. Horus acknowledged Kempok as the Lord Commander of the 8th Legion. The Sempage was real, and so was the delusion. Skraivok led the Night Lords on a terror campaign against the defenders of Holy Terra, and taught the Imperial Fist what fear tastes like. A blood angel named Ralderon took exception to this because he was apparently serving lemon bars and decided Scry Kebab needed a piece of metal inside of him.
I am your end. Never heard of you.
The duel was actually fairly equal, until Skraivok.
When you go saying I am your end and this guy's like, I've never heard of you. That boy, with a burn like that, you'd be you'd be surprised that this guy wasn't a salamander.
Forgot to renew his subscription to Tiffany, who proceeded to remove itself from Skraivok's sword. Ralderon ran him through, sang the Sip Song chorus, and threw him off a cliff.
So the only thing that was giving him seemingly any aura as a fighter just dipped on him.
Jim Bob was dying and knew the only way out was to renew his subscription, and fast. So he did, without checking to see what tier he had clicked on. Top sub, cons, Jim.
666 years as Tiffany's personal torture slave. So he sold his soul to Slanesh.
Bob was dragged into the wart to be used as Tiffany's sex toy for 666 years. Pros, he emerged as a demon prince. After gaining control of a small warband and changing his name to his username, the Painted Count decided to flaunt his top subs.
Yeah, considering how pretentious he was, I would not put it past as that his demon form would be would look like some kind of noble.
Status to the Dark Angels. The Painted Count killed their Supreme Grandmaster and planned on using his body for Night Lord things. Azrael, currently leader of the Death Wing, had some complaints to file and carved those complaints into the Painted Count's body before Chief Librarian Ezekiel banished him back into the war. He's been living in Tiffany's basement ever since, though it's my personal hope that Games Workshop will use him as a foil to Decimus in the next Night Lord book series whenever that happens. In short, Gendor Skraivok is a person with a stupid name who does stupid things, has a stupid accent with a stupid haircut, and is only worth recognizing because of a stupid nickname. He's about as appealing as a stubbed toe and has all the charisma as an aftermath of a fifth of Jim Beam mixed with Taco Bell. So there you go, the Painted Count, a figure so unapologetically irritating even his name and nickname annoy me.
So, so you've got a pretentious guy, who is also who has delusions of grandeur or daddy issues, who's became the most well I was gonna say the most disappointing demon prince, but then I was thinking for a moment, and that Lorgar exists, and so do Fulgrim, although they're demon primarchs, but you know. Oh, oh, he's still he's definitely the most disappointing because as while Fulgrim and Lorgar, uh, they're messes in their own ways. I don't think any of them have failed to the degree that this guy has. Also, so man was given an essentially a discount Lair blade, and and that thing had the good sense to ditch him when it didn't want to be associated with that disappointment anymore. But this is a fun watch. Sorry to take so long actually to react to this. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I'd appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. And until next time, ta-ta!